clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, we're going to be doing a session entirely based on sleep. Now, the lady that I was working with for this actual session would quite often have very bad rituals before bedtime. She would watch lots of kind of videos or social media posts right before going to bed, quite often eat or drink sometimes caffeinated drinks right before she went to sleep. So she didn't have great rituals. She would quite often have interrupted sleep. She would wake up quite often tired, so not having a good night's sleep. So this session, you're actually going to hear the very session that I did with her, and it works in different ways. There are best practice and tips that can enable people to get a better night's sleep. So you're going to hear those as post-hypnotic suggestions. But equally, it uses an element of parts therapy. And there's a reference in this actual session to her creating a sleep council. So all the different parts of her unconscious mind agree to work together to enable her to have amazing sleep so that she can be highly productive the next day. Because quite often what can cause interrupted sleep is that suddenly at 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, a part comes up with a great idea and that fills someone with excitement and then they can't sleep. Or it might be a worrying part that suddenly starts worrying about something they have to do that they haven't done yet, and that gets in the way of the sleep. So in the sleep council metaphor of this hypnosis session, all the different parts of the unconscious mind are working in a team, in a council, to enable just the best quality sleep so that everyone benefits. The productive part, the creative part, all mean that by having refreshing sleep, they can do more of what they want to do the following day. A great session for any insomniacs, a great session for anyone that just kind of struggles to get a good night's sleep. Sleep deficit is a genuine issue. Millions of people across the world don't sleep enough. This is going to be a great episode if you don't sleep enough and you would like to tap into what's going on in your unconscious mind to enable you to sleep better. And this is also a great session to listen to just before you go to sleep. So you don't have to listen in the middle of the day and then hope it's going to work later. You could literally listen to this and quite often I've heard feedback that people just, they don't even get to the end of the hypnosis session. They fall asleep within 5 or 10 minutes. So, but don't worry, the suggestions are still going in. It's still going to be effective even if you do fall asleep during the session. But try and listen a few times just so that you can build your own sleep council to enable all parts of your subconscious mind to work as a team to enable you to have amazing sleep. So find somewhere comfortable, ideally a bed, listen on headphones or maybe a nearby speaker, but make sure you won't be interrupted and just enjoy and relax. Okay, so all I want you to do, take a nice deep breath in, and then on the out breath, just relax those eyelids and feel a sense of calmness going over your whole body. And that's right. And then as you breathe in, I want you to get a sense of calm and tranquility that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, just get a sense of releasing any anxiety, any stress, any tension at all. And occasionally while I'm talking, you might pick up on different sounds. And if you do so, I just want you to know that that is distracting the conscious part of your mind, which is exactly what I need to. Maybe there's a sound of traffic outside your window or different sounds around you. And if that's the case, then the more distracted your conscious mind is, the better able I am to influence your unconscious mind, the part that enables you to blink thousands of times every day without noticing, the part that enables you to breathe in and breathe out without thinking about breathing. And now what I want you to do is I want you to just remember a time in nature where you witnessed a beautiful sunset. And if you can remember a time like that, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. But on this particular occasion, when you think back to that memory, I don't want there to be anyone else around, just you. I want you to imagine that you're there at that part in nature, witnessing this impressive sunset. And I want you to get an overall sense that it is really calm and tranquil. The only sounds that you can really hear are the sounds in nature. And that might be the sounds of birds perhaps, maybe the sound of a breeze going through perhaps trees or plants. Just focus on the sound of nature and really focus on the unique colours that are always there in a sunset. Because it isn't just red or pink, there is a whole fusion of different colours. When you see a sunset, there is the whole element of an entire rainbow almost that you can see. Maybe you can still see the whiteness of some of the clouds, some blueness still within the sky. But maybe there is this complex hybrid of different oranges, yellows, reds perhaps, maybe even pinks. And as you look at those colours, I want you to notice that you just instantly feel calmer. Just by looking at this sunset, you notice that without even thinking, you are breathing in a more relaxed way. By focusing on the sunset, you tend to take deeper breaths in through your nose and release them, feeling completely at ease. That's it, and relaxed. And all I want you to do as you look at this sunset is imagine that there is a comfortable chair somewhere where you've got the perfect view. And I want you to imagine that witnessing this sunset is almost an experience like watching a movie. And I want you to imagine that there is the most comfortable chair that would be perfect to just observe and appreciate this particular sunset. And if you can imagine that chair, that piece of furniture being close by, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I want you to take a seat in this comfortable chair. I want you to look at that sunset, notice the colours. And I want you to imagine in the chair, closing your eyes again, and still imagining what that sunset would look like. And now as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that the colours that you saw in that sunset, that same very eclectic and diverse mixture of colours, is exactly the feeling that you're breathing in through your nose. And the feeling of the sunset is breathing in a sense of relaxation, calm and tranquility. The feelings that the sunset was giving you, you are now experiencing as a feeling, breathing in that feeling of calm, tranquility and relaxation. And as you breathe out, releasing any tension, any stress, any anxiety. That's right, going deeper and deeper relaxed. And the more you breathe in, the more relaxed you feel, and the more you breathe out, the more tension you release. Going deeper and deeper and deeper relaxed. That's right. I want you to focus on the muscles in and around your eyelids. I want you to scan for any and all tension. And if you feel any, then on the out breath, just allow yourself to let go of that tension now. Focus on the muscles in your forehead. Scan for any tension. Become aware of any tension. Breathe in that feeling that you get from that sunset, and then as you release it, just release that tension now. Scan for any tension in the jaw. Any muscles in and around the jaw, really become aware of them. Notice them, and then release them on the out breath. Just let go of that tension, feeling like any and all tension is slowly, gradually, but consistently just melting away. That's right. Now, really notice the muscles in your neck and your shoulders. As you breathe in that feeling that you get from that incredible sunset, just enable the muscles in your neck and shoulders to just really untangle, unknot. Feel like any tension is being released now. That relaxing feeling goes all the way down into your fingers. Tingling sensation perhaps in your fingers. Allow that feeling of relaxation to gradually spread to your whole body. And I want you to think about nature. Every animal sleeps. There are complex animals, and there are simple animals. But nature requires all animals to sleep. I want you to think of flying animals, birds perhaps. They just know the right time when it's time for them to go back to their nest or wherever it is that they reside. And they do whatever's required to just switch off. Large mammals, even sea creatures, all have the ability to do whatever is necessary to sleep. There are some animals that can sleep for days or weeks or even months, and others that sleep for very short periods of time. And nature has required it for different animals and different species to sleep in whatever requirement and pattern is useful to enable them to live their life in an optimum way. And thousands of years ago, there were no electronic devices. There were no alarm clocks. There were no schedules and diaries. All there was people. And people knew when it was time to sleep, because the sun would go down, they would feel drowsy, and perhaps they would find somewhere comfortable. And it was almost effortless for them to just sleep. And they knew when it was time to wake up, because the sun would rise, and they would hear the sound of birds, and that would be a clue that it was time to wake up. And these natural rhythms that existed in ancestors thousands of years ago still exist in all of us. That's why you've had the experience every now and then of flying across different time zones. And even though you should be sleepy, because perhaps you're in an area that's bright, full of sunshine, and people are busy around you, you just don't feel sleepy. And sometimes it's happened the other way round, where you should be wide awake, but you feel really tired. But isn't it strange that just after a few days, even if you've missed out on lots of sleep, your body has the ability to recalibrate, reconnect with those natural rhythms to enable you to just sleep. And the only thing really getting in the way of good sleep is ourselves. And while you're relaxing on that chair, knowing that you're surrounded by fresh air, beautiful nature, and a stunning sunset, I want you to become aware that there are certain things that it's possible to do to facilitate natural sleep. There are certain things that what you do has a direct impact on the quality of sleep that you enjoy. Perhaps it's what you eat. And what you eat affects your digestive system, but it also affects your blood sugar level. And I want you to entertain the idea of not eating late at night, of having that last snack or bite to eat at least 2 or 3 hours before you plan on sleeping. And if your unconscious mind likes the idea of good quality sleep, then simply not having food that contains sugar, salt, processed foods will allow your body to do what it naturally wants to do, to link with the changing times, becoming aware of the darkness perhaps outside, and naturally taking you into that feeling of drowsiness, relaxation, and that sleepy feeling. There are also things that you can do to make sleep so much more inviting. Maybe it's the sheets, the covers, the pillow. Maybe it's the smell in the room. Maybe it's the clothes that you wear to enable good sleep. You already know that sleep is essential for your health, well-being, emotional health, mental health, concentration. So therefore, anything that you can do to enable good sleep will facilitate better health. And there's a part of you that loves the idea of being healthy and having a strong immune system and fighting off any kind of infections or diseases. And therefore, the better you sleep, the stronger your immune system is, the healthier you are. I want you to realize that the rituals that you consciously or unconsciously have before you sleep will either improve or reduce the quality of your sleep. One of the things that ancestors had thousands of years ago is an absence of technology. And devices like phones and tablets tend to emit blue light. And that blue light can trick the brain into thinking that it's a different time of day than it actually is. And I don't know if you've already changed the settings so that after a certain time of night, there's no blue light that gets emitted from your phone. But I do want you to entertain the idea that just as you don't want to eat after 2 or 3 hours before you plan on sleeping, I want you to also think that you don't want to be consuming technology, facing a screen, with at least an hour before you sleep. Some people even put their tablet or phone under the pillow, but that prompts them to think about messages, contacts, news. And a good ritual is to have your phone away from your sleeping environment. And that will enable you to enjoy uninterrupted sleep. That's right. I want you to imagine what it would feel like to really want to sleep, enjoy sleep. Just imagine that feeling that some people get when they wake up, sometimes after an alarm, and suddenly that extra 9 minutes they get by snoozing is the best feeling in the world. What would it be like to feel that way at the beginning of your sleep rather than the end? You get to feel comfortable, cozy. Sometimes reducing the temperature slightly at nighttime can facilitate really good sleep. Sometimes it might be a warm bath or a shower that can just help you to feel more relaxed. Sometimes it's useful to have just a notepad with a pen. So if there are any things that pop into your head that you need to do, to action, rather than them staying in your mind, you can just put them on that notepad. And the moment it's written down, you no longer need to think about it while you're in bed. You get to empty your mind of those kind of things to enable your mind to do what it really wants to do. And that is to have the most enjoyable sleep possible. That's right. As you breathe in that feeling of relaxation and tranquility, I want you to get a sense that you're already feeling drowsy and sleepy and cozy and relaxed. I want you to entertain the idea that there might be other things that you could do as part of a pre-sleep ritual. Maybe that's some form of meditation. Maybe it's writing things down in a journal, reflecting on the day. Setting your intentions for the following day, knowing and trusting that your unconscious mind will already help you prepare for that following day. Maybe an evening walk where you're very conscious that it is nighttime. You become aware of the darkness. Can be a way to just help you relax and help you sleep. And what I want you to do while you're feeling relaxed in that chair, knowing that there is a beautiful sunset around, is just imagine that you're falling asleep in that chair and that a dream part of you is leaving your body. And not too far away, I want you to imagine there is an outdoor stone table, a circular table made of stone. And I want this dream part of you, the conscious executive part, to sit at the head of the table, knowing that there may be 6 or 7 or 8 other places around this circular stone table, still aware of the sunset around. And I want you to bring forth different parts of your unconscious mind that could form a sleep council. All parts of your unconscious mind working together to enable you to have the best possible sleep. And first of all, I want you to ask from your unconscious mind to approach the table, is the achiever part. Now, somewhere in this nature, the achiever part is going to walk forward and take a seat at this stone circular table. And when it arrives at the table, just let me know by nodding your head. And that's right. And I want you to imagine climbing into the achiever part. And I want to ask if it's okay if I can communicate directly to that part. That's right. Now I know that you are the go-getter. I know that you're the part that wants to succeed and achieve and get as much done as you possibly can. But I also know that sometimes, by being so driven, so persistent, sometimes that gets in the way of good quality sleep. And you don't intend to get in the way of good quality sleep, but sometimes that just happens as an unintended side effect. Now this part that wants to achieve, the part that I'm communicating with right now, if you're receptive to helping to achieve even more, just let me know by nodding your head. Because the reality is, it's difficult to achieve if you're tired, lacking concentration, feeling foggy and confused. And that's exactly what happens when there is a sleep deficit and insufficient sleep. So I would like to propose that you are one of the key roles around the new Sleep Council is to encourage all parts to find agreement so that the best quality sleep can be enjoyed, meaning that the very next day you are activating the energy and the resources required to achieve on a level never seen before. And if you'd like to take on that new responsibility of making sure that agreement and consensus is found across all the parts to enable the best quality sleep, to enable maximum accomplishment and achievement the very next day, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And I want you to jump back into the part that was originally hosting this meeting. And I want you to call forward the creative part, the ideas part, the part that gets excited with new things. And when that part arrives at the table, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And again, I want to ask permission to communicate directly to that part. And if that's okay, let me know. That's right. I want you to climb inside that part so I'm communicating directly with you. That's right. Now I know that you are the part that creates incredible ideas, exciting ideas, and you're already used to working with the achiever part. The ideas that you come up with, the achiever part wants to make happen. But sometimes those ideas come right in the middle of sleep time. And sometimes that makes it impossible to have good quality sleep. Because normally a good idea comes with a feeling of excitement and inspiration. And that same feeling isn't conducive to relaxation and sleep. But isn't it frustrating to create amazing ideas if there isn't the energy to see those ideas through? And if you would like more of your ideas to be considered and executed, turned into reality, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I would like to propose that you will harness your creative function to do two very powerful things. One, intuitively and unconsciously come up with ideas for the best possible rituals, the best possible behaviors to enable the best quality sleep. Because the better that there is sleep, then the better that ideas can be followed up with the very next day. Now, what can make sleep really enjoyable is incredible dreams. And being the creative part that you are, what if you could turn these dreams that may be very average and sometimes forgettable into incredible experiences? What if you could harness your creative skills by having powerful, insightful, inspirational dreams. Dreams that have never been experienced before. That would enable you to sharpen your skills, become even more creative than ever before, and facilitate very good quality sleep. If you agree with this new responsibility, let me know. That's right. And if there are any ideas that relate to specific actions and things that need to be done, you will intuitively just know that these ideas need to be written down and not thought about at the moment until they are read again later. That's right. I want you to jump back into your hosting seat. And I want you to call forward the part that represents connection. And when that connection part, the part that really craves connection, is there at that stone table, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And again, I'd like permission to speak directly to that connection part. That's right. Now I know that one of the core values, the things that create so much meaning and power, is this feeling of connection. And sometimes that desire for connection can be found in the kind of places that can interrupt sleep. Perhaps by finding connection through electronic devices and social media. But I want you to consider that the most powerful relationship that can ever exist for an individual is the relationship that they have with themselves. And the stronger the connection is with yourself, the better it enhances all relationships with everyone else. Some people would call it the law of the lid, that you can't have a relationship with other people that is stronger than the relationship that you have with yourself. And how can you have a strong relationship with yourself if you don't give yourself the time to connect with yourself? Now, in the waking day, there's the ability to connect with lots of different people, lots of different situations. But at night, isn't that the very best time to really create that powerful connection with yourself? And even yourself is made up of different parts. The part that creates ideas, the part that achieves, the part that worries, the part that wants health and well-being. Good connection with the self means good connection with all of these different parts. And the more connected you are with these different parts, the more you can trust your intuition, the more that you can have confidence in your own decisions. And I would like to offer you an increase in responsibility. As part of a key member of the Sleep Council, I would like to give you the very important role of making sure that there are good connections between all members of the Sleep Council, and that this is done to create the best possible working relationship with yourself and to enjoy the best possible sleep that is possible. And if you agree to this increase in responsibility, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And it's time to go back into that host's chair now. I want you to bring forward the part that worries. That worrying part. And once that arrives at the table, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And all I want you to do is ask permission if it's okay if I speak directly with this worry part. That's right. I want to thank you for your worries. I want you to thank you especially for the worries at nighttime. I know that the point of the worrying isn't to create anxiety, isn't to create stress. It's to solve problems, it's to protect. I know that you're helping. But I also know that sometimes your worrying has unintended consequences. Sometimes that it makes it impossible to sleep. I know that mainly the function of you doing what you do is to help avoid mistakes, avoid catastrophes, to help prepare for the future. And I'd like to offer you an increase in responsibility if you'd like to protect and help in a way that you've never been able to do before. That new responsibility is to protect, because sometimes bad decisions come from a lack of concentration, a lack of energy, a lack of well-being. But a good night's sleep can mean that it's possible to wake up fully resourceful, alert, ready to take on whatever challenges may be there. But imagine if someone only sleeps with an hour or so of sleep. Isn't it possible that they make more mistakes, get themselves in more dangerous situations, simply because they're not ready to do what's required for a full day? The best way in which you can protect is two things. One, realize that any ideas that you have, I want you to focus not on what you can't control, but what you could do to take immediate progress in that area, and then ensure that that is written down. At the moment that anything is written down as an action point or an idea that would solve the problem or reduce any risks, you no longer have to think about it. And the second thing I want you to do is to know that the better quality sleep that exists, the more resourceful and therefore the better prepared for any and all eventualities will exist the following day. So your role is to protect preventively. That's the point of worry, is to prepare. And a good night's sleep can deal with so many problems that just wouldn't exist if that sleep did not happen. And if you agree to the increase in responsibility, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And another member of the Sleep Council that I would like to invite is the part responsible for balance. Too much of anything is out of control. I want you to bring forward the part that is responsible for balance in your life. And when that part arrives at the stone table, the council, if you will, of sleep, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Again, I want to ask permission if it's okay if I speak directly to this part responsible for balance. That's right. I'd like to thank you. Thank you for making sure that things don't spiral out of control. Sometimes it's possible to get such good feelings out of accomplishment and achievement that other parts forget that balance is also required. In the same way that it's out of balance to sleep all day and sleep all night and not get anything done, it's also out of balance to constantly achieve and work through the night and try and survive on just an hour or two of sleep. Therefore, you have the key function of enabling and making sure that other parts don't become so dominant that they take control. The way that you can ensure balance is by cultivating good communication between the parts. The achiever part, for example, just wants to never sleep and constantly get things done. But equally, there is another part that would love to just avoid any kind of effort and just snuggle and sleep all day. But you will have a crucial role to play in the sleep council to make sure that no one part becomes too dominant, so it becomes tyrannical. You need to make sure that all parts are willing to be flexible. And if you like that increase in responsibility to ensure that there is harmony, balance across all members of the sleep council, and in fact all members of the unconscious mind, all parts that affect in some way sleep at one stage or another, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. Thank you for that. And I want you to jump back into the hosting seat. Now there are still a few empty chairs around this stone table. These are the initial members of the sleep council, but certainly won't be the only members of the sleep council. Already there is more of a collaborative, harmonious approach to knowing the true value of sleep. That if all parts of the unconscious work together, it's possible to enjoy the sleep, be creative in the sleep, so that the very next day you are more resourceful and able to achieve more than ever before. There is a creative part that will come up with ideas about how to establish new boundaries, new rituals, new habits that will cultivate high quality sleep. There will be processes that you'll be able to follow so that if you have amazing ideas or worries or concerns, you can simply write them down and then deal with them the very next day. All parts of your unconscious mind will be working together. And at any point in the future, all you need to do is to imagine this stone table in nature under the sunset, and you will be able to call a meeting with any member or all members of the sleep council and anyone else that needs to be there to solve problems and to work harmoniously to enable the best quality sleep. And as you look around the table, I want you to ask if all parts, all members of the council are willing to do what they can to cultivate the best quality sleep you've ever known. And if all parts acknowledge that they are willing to collaborate in a harmonious way to enable that to happen, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. It's now time to close the sleep council, but communicating with all parts that they will be invited back whenever they need to. And in a moment, just by imagining this scene, you will be able to call whoever needs to be there. And if any new parts need to be involved in that meeting, they will be able to automatically sit around the table and communicate their intentions and ideas for changes or resolutions. But for now, it's time to go back into the part of you that is asleep on that comfortable chair. So climb into that part. Get that feeling of being very relaxed, very comfortable. In a few moments' time, I want you to imagine that you are no longer in that chair. You are in wherever you are in right now, in the present moment. And I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. And you will awaken with all parts, working collaboratively and harmoniously to enable you to have the best quality sleep. You will feel relaxed, and you will be able to create whatever habits and rituals are required so that you learn when you have a bad night's sleep, and you can enjoy and notice what was right when you had a good night's sleep. You will awaken fully alert unless you are listening to this at nighttime. And if it is time to just sleep anyway, then you will awake, maybe temporarily or even just naturally drift into a deep, natural sleep. Starting to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.